Iran nuclear talks, key points and implications. Nuclear tensions escalate, Iran and European powers to meet amid sanctions threat. Imagine a world where the threat of nuclear escalation hangs in the balance. For Iran and European powers, that world is now. On Friday, Iran, Britain, France, and Germany will convene in Istanbul for high-stakes nuclear talks, prompted by warnings from the European trio that failure to make progress would trigger the reinstatement of international sanctions on Iran. The stage is set. These crucial discussions, taking place at the deputy foreign minister level, follow a tense phone call between the foreign ministers of the E3, Britain, France, and Germany, the European Union's foreign policy chief, and Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araqi. This call marked the first since the pivotal moment a month ago, when Israel and the U.S. launched attacks on Iranian nuclear facilities, significantly raising the geopolitical stakes. A delicate balance, the 2015 nuclear deal. At the heart of these negotiations lies the fragile 2015 nuclear agreement, from which the United States withdrew in 2018. This deal had lifted sanctions on Iran in exchange for stringent controls on its nuclear program. The E3, along with China and Russia, remain committed to the agreement, but their patience is wearing thin. The snapback mechanism, a sanctions sword of Damocles. The E3 have made it clear, if meaningful progress is not made by the end of August, they will invoke the snapback mechanism to reinstate UN sanctions on Tehran. This move, as outlined in the UN Security Council resolution set to expire on October 18, can be triggered unilaterally. Iranian Foreign Minister Araqi has vehemently opposed this threat, arguing the E3 lack both moral and legal grounds for such action. A roadblock: uranium enrichment. Prior to the recent conflict, Tehran and Washington had engaged in 5 rounds of nuclear talks, mediated by Oman. However, significant hurdles remained, notably the issue of uranium enrichment in Iran. Western powers insist on reducing this to zero to eliminate any potential for weaponization, a stance Tehran vehemently disputes, maintaining its nuclear ambitions are purely for civilian purposes. The world watches. As the international community holds its breath, the question on everyone's mind is, can these talks prevent the escalation of nuclear tensions and the reimposition of devastating sanctions? But here's where it gets controversial. Should the E3's threat of sanctions be seen as a necessary pressure tactic, or an overreach of power? And this is the part most people miss: the delicate dance between diplomacy and coercion in nuclear negotiations. We want to hear from you. Do you believe the snapback mechanism is a justified tool for ensuring compliance, or does it undermine the very fabric of international cooperation? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Reporting inspired by Parisa Hafizi and the Dubai Newsroom, with editorial insights from Toby Chopra and Rod Nickel, upholding the Thomson Reuters Trust principles. Iran nuclear talks, E3 nations meet amid rising tensions. In a significant development, Iran is set to engage in nuclear discussions with 3 European nations this Friday. This meeting is particularly crucial as it involves France, Germany, and the United Kingdom, countries that, along with China and Russia, are still part of the 2015 nuclear agreement with Iran. This deal, which the United States exited in 2018, was designed to ease sanctions on Iran in exchange for limitations on its nuclear activities. The upcoming talks in Istanbul come on the heels of stern warnings from the 3 European nations. They have indicated that if negotiations do not resume, Iran could face the reinstatement of international sanctions. This urgency follows a recent call between the foreign ministers of the E3 and the European Union's foreign policy chief, and Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araqi. This was their first communication since a month ago, when Israeli and American forces targeted Iranian nuclear sites. According to Esmail Beghii, a spokesperson for Iran's Ministry of Foreign Affairs, the discussions will occur at the level of deputy foreign ministers. The E3 has made it clear that they are prepared to restore United Nations sanctions against Iran by the end of August if the stalled nuclear talks with the US do not resume or yield tangible outcomes. Iran has accused the United States of being complicit in the Israeli strikes, which resulted in the deaths of high-ranking Iranian military officials, nuclear scientists, and numerous civilians. The U.S. also conducted airstrikes on 3 significant Iranian nuclear facilities, claiming to have obliterated them. A ceasefire was established on June 24, but tensions remain high. In a recent statement, Araghchi emphasized that if the European Union and the E3 wish to play a constructive role, they must act with responsibility and abandon outdated strategies of threats and pressure, including the controversial snapback sanctions, which he argues lack both moral and legal justification. Prior to the conflict between Israel and Iran, Tehran and Washington had engaged in 5 rounds of nuclear negotiations, facilitated by Oman. However, these discussions faced significant hurdles, particularly regarding Iran's uranium enrichment, which Western powers are keen to reduce to zero to mitigate any potential for weaponization. Iran, on the other hand, insists that its nuclear program is intended solely for peaceful purposes. In another noteworthy event, Russian President Vladimir Putin held an unexpected meeting with Ali Larijani, a senior advisor to Iran's supreme leader on nuclear matters, at the Kremlin. Larijani shared insights regarding the escalating tensions in the Middle East and the Iranian nuclear situation. Putin reiterated Russia's established stance on stabilizing the region and addressing the political aspects of the Iranian nuclear program. While Moscow maintains a friendly relationship with Iran's leadership and provides essential support, it has not fully aligned itself with Iran, especially in light of the U.S. involvement in the recent military actions.